खुशामदी दोस्तों, मैं हूं तौफीक अहमद, आपका दोस्त, आपका मेजबान। आपके साथ आज एक बार फिर जुड़ा हूं एक इंटरेस्टिंग गुफ्तगू के साथ। लेकिन हाँ, इसको जो है ना, थोड़ा अलग तरीके से देखिए। इसमें हमको आपको सुनना कम है, इसमें आपको करना ज्यादा है। द कॉन्वर्जेशन दैट आई एम अबाउट टू हैव टुडे इज बेसिकली, इफ एट एनी स्टेज यू थॉट दैट यार ये नौकरी में क्या रखा है, बिजनेस करेंगे अपना, or at any stage you thought, I know this person who can really do well if given the opportunity to become an entrepreneur. What do you do next after that? Yeah, I mean, I have been in that situation myself sometimes, that we've got ideas and we don't know how to execute them, and over a period of time we learn. But if that learning of 10 years or 5 years, or in some cases a lifetime, can be concised into 8 weeks, how would you feel about that? Let's get into this conversation straight away. And we have today with us Mr. Kumar R Jha, who is the CEO and founder of Opportunities Australia, who has come up with an excellent initiative of creating entrepreneurs from the society. So, Kumar Sahab, thank you so much for joining Kehte Sunte's conversation. How have you been, and what are you doing with Opportunities Australia? I'm keen to know.
Taufeeq, thank you very much for having me. It's a great opportunity. It's an honor. Been pretty busy trying to establish Opportunities Australia and helping out the communities. There are a few programs that we are running with Opportunities Australia. But let's get into this aspiring entrepreneur that we have began towards the end of last year. We trained 26, really aspiring, budding entrepreneurs who had various ideas, and some of them already established their businesses, but they were needing help in order to really establish their businesses and do well. A fact about businesses in Australia is 95% of the total businesses in Australia are small businesses. Out of those small businesses, 95% of those startups fail, actually, unfortunately, because they can't have enough resources, they can't have enough knowledge in order to run their businesses well.
Yeah. So this actually begs me a very important question there. Everybody talks about how to become a businessman. I want to touch on these points because you have also touched on the point of failures. What failures have you seen that has been the primary cause of businesses not moving forward? And how are you trying to get around that?
One thing comes to mind is funding.
Interesting.
So we have brought VCs, venture capitalists. Another thing is bricks and mortar, right? So running a business from a place, you've got to have an actual office in order to run the thing. And I mean, even you have a shoebox of a business, you are paying hundreds of dollars on a weekly basis in order to sustain that. So for a startup which doesn't have so much money and it's ending up paying hundreds and thousands of dollars on a weekly basis in order to just have a name out there, it can really cost them. It can sting them. And by stinging, I mean sometimes within a year or something, they just run out of money.
Agreed.
So yeah,
and revenue does take a time to come back, I believe.
Absolutely. Right on. And so after coming of Zoom, there and e-commerce also, there are so many businesses, they don't have to have an actual office in order to operate. So they do need to understand, and they do need to turn their angle. I can think of some examples here. As there was one person who I was chatting with just now, who was part of our aspiring entrepreneur program. They are selling food, so pickles and some other food sauce, etc. Rather than having a brick and mortar, they decided to do it completely online. The time it's taking to build up the business, they don't have to be paying rent.
Agreed. And there are so many aspects to a business, and I feel that we can be an expert in one thing, but in business you need to have an expertise of too many things, and which is where I think you come in with regards to all the support that you can do, and we can focus on our business, which is great. But usually entering business schools is a huge cost. Learning business is a huge cost. Collaborating and networking is a lot of time and a lot of cost. a person who's already running a small business, or a person who's already, let's say, doing a 9 to 5 job, who wants to turn into business, how does this particular initiative helps that person?
Well, this initiative trains the people in order to be an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of being an accountant or an IT person, we had people from all walks of life, really. And we train people, 360 degree, of business, of entrepreneurship, really. So we teach people how to do HR, how to do a business plan, how to do a sales pitch as we connect them with venture capitalists,
Nice.
how to do IT, how to set up their website, how to do SEO, how to do marketing, what to know about the legal side of things, making sure that, all things are all right, otherwise you might get sued and you would have to pay tens of thousands of dollars, right? And then also the trends and also the product, the minimum viable product. You got to know your product, right? And sometimes it takes months for people to understand. Sometimes people spend, 1 to 2 years actually to solidify their product, to understand what product is going to work. So, when we bring in chartered accountants and senior marketing professionals and, all those other people, they know exactly what business is going to work, what's not, what product is going to work, and, and vice versa. So, by getting these kind of advice, these people learn quite a lot. And, we make sure that the product is, number one, the product is viable, and the business doesn't fail, and it actually goes out and excels. So we are proud of that, and it's very, it's a special service that we are trying to create in here, that people utilize in order to establish their businesses.
Bilkul. So that reminds me that this is not the first time you guys are doing this. Run us a bit through that. What has success looked like in the past year, and how are you trying to up that this year?
We had 26 aspiring entrepreneurs taking part in our program. That was the first program that we ran. And out of those 26, some of them already had the businesses started. And then majority of people just started the business after attending the program. Yeah, majority of these people are establishing their businesses. They are slowly taking off. One person I can think of is they run a restaurant. So, the sale has gone high. They are living out there in the Western Sydney. So they would understand the SEO side of things, marketing, copywriting, the website building, etc. So, that was great to see. Then there was a person who ran a robotic training school. So, he wants to get contract from different schools, etc. We have connected them to the skills minister and the department and a few schools, etc. So, that was a good contact to create there. And this person is actually working on it and getting benefited by that. So hopefully, we will be seeing this person delivering the robotics classes in various schools in New South Wales. I think that would be, pretty nice. So he's working on that. And besides that, a few people with the IT, there was one person with a great idea of skin cancer. So how to find skin cancer through an app. So he is working on the app, developing that app. So it takes a little bit of a time. So our program just finished towards the end of last year. So, there hasn't been so much time.
But let's say 1 year down the line, these three and other success stories that you have had, how are you still connected with them? Is this relationship like, I will teach you how to become a businessman, goodbye, best of luck?
Not at all, never. It's never goodbye. They are connected on social media now. Okay. And they do engage. They pick up the phone and they give me a call whenever they require something. They have my email as well. They are connected on Facebook. They get to see my personal stories. They get to see my professional stories. They're connected on LinkedIn as well. So they are there, and a lot of them, they live in Sydney as well. So they do meet in person as well. So we are connected on several levels. So it's never going to be a goodbye, and there would always be a following up. We are going to invite them for the graduation of the second round of aspiring entrepreneurs, and then before that, we will also have a catch up, following up on where they are up to. with the program. And something, on another note is we have partnered up with a clothing charity.
Okay.
It's called Thread Together, and they have got brand new clothes, great brands, Australian brands, and international brands like Adidas, etc. So they provide us free clothing. So we would like to do a bit of a wardrobe thing. It's like, bring in everyone and give them suits and shoes and, all those things and make them happy. And perhaps at the time of graduation, we would just say thanks to the clothing charity Thread Together for doing all the wardrobe for these aspiring entrepreneurs. So, yeah, I mean, some of the example is, I got a bunch of suits for, men's suits for a person who could not afford it. It was great, it's a special feeling.
So if I may ask it this way, I see that you've got the community spirit in there, and then you're also treading into the lines of business coaching. And in my research, it did come up as well that you've had political ways of moving forward and doing change for the good as well. So you've got politics, you've got business, and you've got community. Which one is leading at the moment? Which is the real Kumar R Jha?
Well, Kumar Raghav Jha, community always trumps everything. And I had a bit of a political ambition. I wanted to start small, starting from the council side. But this election was taking a lot of my time. It was distracting me from doing the community work. So it was an easy decision to put this one aside for the time being for a couple of years. And so I could focus completely with the charity. My ambition to get into politics is to serve the community anyway.
Well, I am interested in knowing how we can become a part of aspiring entrepreneurs from Opportunities Australia. But before that, you touched on a couple of points which has got me a bit intrigued. You talked about starting off in Australia, and you mentioned the name Raghav as well. So I want to know the start of Raghav. राघव की जर्नी क्या है? राघव के बारे में कुछ बताइए हमें. कहाँ से उसने अपनी जर्नी शुरू करी?
Well, simple answer would be I grew up in Ranchi. So Raghav, Raghav Ranchi, Jharkhand में पला बड़ा. और उसने ग्रेजुएशन सेंट जेवियर्स रांची से किया और ऑफिस मैनेजमेंट में. जैसे सिंपल डिग्री. बहुत अच्छे समय थे स्कूल्स के, स्कूल और कॉलेज के. बहुत मजा किया. पहले पढ़ाई कम करते थे, खेल कूद ज्यादा करते थे. उसके बाद फिर कॉलेज गए तो थोड़ा बहुत पढ़ाई वगैरह किया. अच्छे लोगों से मिलना जुलना हुआ तो थोड़ा बहुत पढ़ने लिखने में फोकस किया. और उसके बाद फिर मजा खत्म हुआ, कॉलेज खत्म हुआ. उसके बाद फिर दिल्ली चलते बने. और दिल्ली में कुछ एक कंपनियों के साथ में काम किया, 5 स्टार होटल और सिटी बैंक एक्सेट्रा, मार्केटिंग का काम किया. और उसके बाद फिर 2004 में ऑस्ट्रेलिया आ गया.
Now, before we quickly wrap up, I need to know a couple of few things. So when does it start and how long does it go for?
Sure. So the program starts on the 23rd of Feb and 23rd of February this year. So in a couple of weeks' time. And then this program runs for 8 weeks. And after 8 weeks, there is a pitch night. So the graduation/pitch night. So 8 of the entrepreneurs will be selected to pitch in front of venture capitalists and other CEOs and senior government officials. So last year we had the skills minister of New South Wales and some other senior people. So yeah, this is how the program runs. If they want to excel in the business, and if they want to connect with a venture capitalist, as I was saying, that finance, can be a real big thing. And then if they want to spread the word, connect with other like-minded entrepreneurs also. So if they want to operate the business in an ecosystem where, each entrepreneurs help each other. So if they want to avail all of these opportunities, well, there's one way to do the business, or actually to learn how to do business. There's no catch.
Fair enough. That is definitely reassuring to understand. So before I let you go, Kumar Sahab, there's one thing I'm going to ask you. I did see onto your website that apart from helping people in developing their own businesses, you also help them find jobs. Please, let's touch on that a little more, and then we can wrap up the conversation today.
Absolutely. So We have several mentors. So, and besides mentors, we do have corporate connections as well. So what mentors do is they prep people to be job ready.
Mm-hmm.
So we do run several weeks program depending on the requirements. So, we take people in, we do group mentoring, we do individual mentoring, and then we make people job ready. And then after, with the corporate connections that we have, for example, we have Salesforce, we have OMD Media, we have Masterton Homes, etc. And in these companies, we can hire for all the roles that is going on in those companies year in, year out. So, this is a relationship with them. And then besides that, there are companies like Ernst & Young who are running programs with us, Job Ready program. And they are going to run a program very soon with us, which is on the 25th of Feb. And this is going to be an online program. So the link is there on our social media and on our website as well. So a Job Ready program in partnership with Ernst & Young.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Kumar, for all your time today. And thank you for all that information, and it's a world of information and value of wealth that you are offering here by creating independence in financial security. The only better thing than finding the right job is creating it, and that is essentially how I would want to end this conversation today. If you all are interested, अगर आप लोग खुद नहीं और किसी और को इंटरेस्टेड कराना चाहते हैं, you can get in touch with us directly at कहते सुनते, or you can even log on directly onto Opportunities Australia website, which is opportunitiesaustralia.org.au. Once you go into the upcoming and past courses tab, you will find all the conversations that we've talked about in terms of the entrepreneurship program, which is aspiring entrepreneurs. And if you are looking for opportunities around jobs, there are some great companies that you can actually look for jobs around, OMD, Mastertron, Salesforce, and the sky is the limit once you kind of get into it. So do not waste any further time. And if your entrepreneur inside you is itching to come out, here is the time for you to do it. तो इसी के साथ दोस्तों मैं आप लोगों से आज इजाजत चाहता हूं. Hopefully we will get in touch with yet another interesting conversation soon enough. Thank you, Kumar Sahab. Thank you, audiences. Have an evening which is splendid, with full of love, life and laughter. मैं आपका मेजबान तौफीक अहमद आपसे आज शाम के लिए इजाजत चाहता हूं.
Thanks very much, Taufeeq.
Thank you.